Part 68. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 671. Chapter 671. What does this little girl want to do? Standing next to him was a woman who was not very good looking. Looking at her attire, she is obviously a makeup artist. She lowered her head and glanced at Xiao Mian, her eyes not very friendly. What do you want to do? Xiao Mian also raised her head and glanced at her. Excuse me, are you a makeup artist? I am someone from Huang Yilan's side, said hello first. Naturally, the makeup artist would not give Xiao Mian a good look. Before Xiao Mian could say anything, she asked coldly, are you Xiao Mian? What's the matter with you? Why are you here now? There's less than half an hour left, and I can't put on your makeup. She thought Xiao Mian wanted her to help with makeup. Huang Yilan has already said hello and wants to give this girl some color. She will definitely not help. Although the crew is talking about this young newcomer being attracted by Bai Yisheng, who knows if Bai Yisheng did it on a whim? Who knows how many days Bai Yisheng's interest will last? Thinking about it, you know that even if Bai Yisheng really fell in love with her, it was just for fun. Not to mention that she is still a newcomer with little fame, and she is not worthy of Bai Yisheng's status. Just talking about a family background like the Bai family, is it possible for an actor to come in? So, it is a sick move to offend Huang Yilan for such a young newcomer who may fall out of favor at any time. Of course he will choose to stand on the same front as Huang Yilan. Xiao Mian looked at her calmly, lowered his eyes, then raised his eyes to look at her again, smiled faintly, and said, you don't have time to put makeup on me, so I can always use the makeup on the table, right? The makeup artist was stunned. She stared at Xiao Mian for a few seconds, frowning slightly. This little girl, what do you want to do? With so many people watching and no one else using the makeup on the table, it would be hard for the makeup artist to say no. If she said no, it would be too obvious. Although, it is already obvious in itself. But if she refuses again, she will inevitably be caught. Bai Yisheng is still fresh about this little girl. If she goes to complain. Huang Yilan is the female lead in the drama and a popular A-list star, so she will probably be fine. But she is just a small makeup artist. After weighing it for a while, the makeup artist nodded and said, of course it can be used. After Xiao Mian asked, she sat in front of the makeup mirror and opened a bottle of lotion on the table. The makeup artist looked at her actions, was silent for a moment, and couldn't help but ask, do you want to do your own makeup? Other female artists in the dressing room also looked at her curiously. Women generally wear makeup. But there is still a big difference between ordinary techniques and those of professional makeup artists. The makeup you wear on stage is very different from your usual makeup. Otherwise, the crew would not have hired a dedicated makeup artist to apply makeup to the actors. Xiao Mian poured out the lotion, rubbed it in her palms, and then patted it gently on her face. Her skin has a very good foundation. Before applying lotion, it looks moist. Apply a thin layer of lotion on her face and it will be a good base. She looked at her mobile phone in front of the dressing table. Time was running out. She speeded up her hand movements, quickly applied the isolation liquid foundation on her face, then took out her makeup and put on a very simple makeup. The entire makeup took only 10 minutes to complete. The makeup artist still had a disapproving expression on her face when she first saw her putting something on her face. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 672. Chapter 672. Sister Mian, you were so handsome just now. But when Xiao Mian finished putting on her makeup, her face suddenly didn't look good. Because even if it is just a simple makeup, the effect is no different from fine makeup. Furthermore, I don't know if it's a coincidence, or if Xiao Mian is luckier. The makeup she applied is very consistent with the makeup of the third female lead in the play. Xiao Mian didn't care what the makeup artist's reaction was. After she put on her makeup, she took the remaining time to pick up the comb on the table and comb her hair. Then she thought about the appearance of the third female character in the original novel, and started styling her hair. Fortunately, the appearance description of the female number 3 in the original work is relatively simple. Because the character design of the third female lead is originally a naturally beautiful beauty. Usually wears a white tee, jeans, white sneakers, and a bun. Xiao Mian is the most experienced in piercing hair. Her usual dress is similar to the third female lead in the original work. Including what she wore to the set today, which was a white tee, jeans, and white canvas shoes. It only took her a minute to tie her hair up. As for changing clothes, she looked at the clothes she was wearing and felt that there was no need to change. It only took her 15 minutes to get everything done. There are still 10 minutes left before filming starts. The expressions on the faces of a group of female artists, including the makeup artist, who were originally waiting to see her joke, froze for several seconds when they saw Xiao Mian stand up. Especially the makeup artist. His face cannot be concealed and is ugly. Without her help and not enough time, this young newcomer actually finished the makeup and hairstyle calmly. They specifically waited until there was only half an hour left before filming started before notifying her. It was certain that she would not be able to finish these things. Who knows? How could she explain this to Huang Yilin? Xiao Mian looked at the makeup artist's stiff face, raised her lips, and said with a smile, "Thank you for the makeup." Makeup artist. Did she do it on purpose? Nana, let's go. Next to her, Nana, who was watching Xiao Mian's operation, had not yet come back to her senses. It was not until Xiao Mian came to her side and reached out to pat her shoulder that she seemed to have come back to her senses and was pulled by Xiao Mian. Walked out of the dressing room. Asterisk. After going out, Nana couldn't restrain her excitement and said excitedly, "Wow, Sister Mian, you were so handsome just now." Seeing the makeup artist's face turn blue with anger, it was quite a relief. There are also those female artists who are adding insult to injury and gloating about others' misfortunes. It makes me so happy to see them all stunned. Sister Mian, you are naturally beautiful, and you look so beautiful no matter how you put on your makeup. You didn't see how ugly the makeup artist looked after you put on your makeup just now. She must not have thought that, Sister Mian, you can also do your own makeup. So good. Judging from Xiao Mian's proficiency in makeup just now, even if it is not as good as a professional makeup artist, it is not much worse. Although it is just a simple makeup, you can still see her skills. Well, I have been a beauty blogger for a while, so I know a little bit about makeup. Makeup that is not too complicated is no problem. Xiao Mian spoke in an understatement, but Nana's eyes widened and she asked in surprise, "Sister Mian, have you ever been a beauty blogger?" Xiao Mian thought for a while and nodded, "Yeah, but that beauty account hasn't been updated for a long time. I can't even remember the password now." End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 673. Chapter 673, right? It seems like I'm over worrying. Is it an account on Weibo? Do you have many fans? It's not that many, just tens of thousands of fans. However, they are all real fans. Every time she posts on Weibo, there can be hundreds of comments. Originally, she had thought about running the Weibo well, but after Qiao Chen suddenly fell ill and was told that he had a heart disease, she no longer had those thoughts. She has been thinking about how to cure Qiao Chen's illness all day long. Tens of thousands of fans is not bad, Nana said seriously. Don't look at the fact that many people now have tens of millions of fans, but real fans only have tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands. If tens of thousands are real fans, still very good. Sister Mian, why didn't you update your Weibo later? Chiao Mian said roughly, something happened at home, so I don't have time to deal with it anymore. Oh, that's how it is. The two of them were walking and talking. When they were about to reach the shooting scene, they met Huang Yilin, who was walking towards them. Huang Yilin also saw them. She stopped and looked at Chiao Mian from top to bottom with cold eyes. Then, her brows furrowed little by little, and her eyes became colder. Chiao Mian also looked at her coldly. He would call her Senior Huang before, but this time he didn't even say hello to her. Since Huang Yilin is already hostile to her, no matter what she does, this hostility will not disappear. In this case, there is no need for her to deliberately maintain something. Huang Yilin naturally felt Chiao Mian's completely different attitude from before. Huang Yilin stared at her with cold eyes for a while, then suddenly smiled and said, "Why is Miss Chiao looking at me like this, as if she is dissatisfied with me?" Chiao Mian also raised her lower lip, and then she said, "Senior Huang is worrying too much. You haven't done anything to apologize to me, why should I be dissatisfied with you?" Huang Yilin's face changed slightly, the smile on her lips froze for a few seconds, and the cold look in her eyes became sharper. "Really? It seems that I am worrying too much. Miss Chiao's makeup is good. It seems that this time the makeup artist hired is very good." Chiao Mian could tell that she was suspicious of the makeup artist. She didn't explain it, she smiled lightly and said, "It's pretty good." As soon as she finished speaking, Huang Yilin's face darkened, then she turned her head and glared fiercely at the assistant beside her. The assistant turned pale with fright and immediately said, "Sister Yilin, I have." Just after he said a few words, he seemed to have thought of something. He raised his head and looked at Chiao Mian, who was standing opposite them. His face turned pale again and he immediately closed his lips tightly. Huang Yilin glared at the assistant even more fiercely, "Idiot." The assistant didn't dare to refute even a word, holding an umbrella and trembling. Huang Yilin looked away from the little assistant with a sullen face. Her cold and sharp eyes fell on Chiao Mian again, gave her a sharp look, and turned around to leave. The assistant held an umbrella and hurriedly ran after her, holding the umbrella firmly above her head. "Bah, disgusting woman!" Nana waited for Huang Yilin to leave, finally spit out the breath she was holding in her heart, and spat at Huang Yilin's retreating back. "You pretend to be something in front of others, I didn't expect it. It's so disgusting from behind." End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 674. Chapter 674. She's a little fed up. No wonder people say celebrity characters are not trustworthy, 9 out of 10 are packaged characters. I never thought that Huang Yilin would be this kind of person. Oh my god, I've actually been a fan of her for a while now. I want to poke my eyes out. What look in my eyes? Nana didn't want to cause any more trouble to Chiao Mian. I don't dare to confront Huang Yilin anymore. You have already said that she is a packaged personality. You have never been in contact with her before, how do you know what kind of person she is in real life? So I can't blame you. Hey, Sister Mian, what will you do in the future? Nana asked worriedly. She has started to make things difficult for you now, and there are still several months to go. Do you want to tell Bai about this matter? Tell me about it. Anyway, Director Bai said that if you have anything to do, you can go to him with Director Bai helping you. She won't dare to go too far. Talk later. Chiao Mian has her own plans and is not ready to go to Bai Yushen because of such a small matter. Things that she can solve by herself should be solved by herself first. If you can't solve it, think of other solutions. Huang Yilin will definitely not let it go. If she went to Bai Yusheng for everything, Bai Yusheng might find her troublesome. Asterisk. Walk to the filming location. Artists who have nanny vans all sit in their own nanny vans and blow on the air conditioner. Noon is the hottest time. The ground seemed to be steaming. Chiao Mian didn't have a nanny car and couldn't operate the air conditioner, so she could only ask for a small stool and walk to a big tree to enjoy the coolness under the tree for a while. The first scene is naturally between the male protagonist and the female protagonist, having nothing to do with her as the third female lead. So Chiao Mian is not in a hurry. She asked Nana to bring her the printed script. Before it was her turn to play, she could read the script and familiarize herself with her lines and plot. Although there were big trees blocking the sun, Chiao Mian still felt too hot in the open air. She read the script for a while, and a thin layer of sweat broke out on her forehead. My mouth also feels very dry. Just as she was about to ask Nana to give her a bottle of water, a bottle of freezing mineral water was handed to her. She was stunned for a moment, took it, unscrewed the cap of the bottle and took a sip. Then she turned her head and said with a smile, "Nana, do we have a connection?" I just. Before she finished speaking, she was stunned again when she saw the person standing next to her. Why is it Tu Yuli? She thought that Nana had handed her the bottle of water just now. Tu Yuli lowered his head and met her eyes, and smiled with his lips raised. Do you feel very hot? Do you want me to find a small fan for you? After finishing speaking, before Chiao Mian could speak, he conjured up a small electric fan like magic, and then handed it to Chiao Mian. Take it, although this electric fan is quite small, it can also be a little bit effect. Chiao Mian looked at the small electric fan handed to her, with a trace of hesitation in her eyes. She had just made up her mind to stay away from Tu Yuli in the future. Lest his manager, who was always worried that she would scheme evil against Tu Yuli, treat her as if he were guarding against thieves. She's kind of fed up. However, the person was very well intentioned, and Tu Yuli himself did not offend her. Chiao Mian felt that it was not good for her to just refuse. Tu Yuli is a senior. Furthermore, he is also the most popular male artist nowadays. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 675. Chapter 675, Greedy, want to stay with her for a while. Not only did they not put on airs in front of her, but they were also so kind to her. If she refused, wouldn't it look like she was ignorant? After thinking about it, she still reached out and took it. Mr. Tu, thank you. She held up the small electric fan and smiled sweetly at him. Tu Yuli's hands hanging by her sides tightened, and his eyes fell on the sweet smile on her lips. He paused uncontrollably for a few seconds, and suddenly felt that his heartbeat was a little fast. This is a feeling I've never had before. It turns out that there is a kind of girl who can smile so beautifully. When she smiled, it seemed as if the whole world became better. His heart felt as if it had been kissed by the sun, and a certain place in his heart felt particularly warm at that moment. For the first time in his life, he felt that girls were really cute creatures. How can she be so cute? Chiao Mian with her bun hair is really cute. Are you reading the script? Tu Yuli glanced at the script in her hand and showed no intention of leaving. Chiao Mian nodded, turned on the small fan and blew her forehead, finally feeling a little more comfortable. How does it feel? Can you play the role you play well? Tu Yuli leaned against the trunk of the big tree in a very casual manner, asking about work seriously, but his eyes kept falling on the top of Chiao Mian's head, looking at the bun she had made. A gust of wind blew. A faint aroma drifted into his nose. He took a breath and smelled a sweet floral scent. It smells very good. The girl sitting in the shade of the tree has a sweet appearance and a sweet smile. Even the smell on her body is sweet. It's so sweet that it makes you want to take a bite. Tuyuli also knows that it is not good for him to stay here all the time. Someone will notice them. Because of Bai Yusheng's actions, Xiao Mian has become the most watched person in the entire crew. If he stays here any longer, it will only make her more noticeable. There will be more and more people criticizing her. It is not a good thing for her or for himself. But, he just didn't want to leave. Being greedy, wanting to stay with her a little longer, wanting to see her a little longer. For the first time in his life, he fell in love with a girl. I felt excited, nervous, and apprehensive. He didn't know what to do. He didn't dare to show his thoughts too obviously in front of her, but he didn't want her to think that he was just caring about her as a senior to a junior. While hesitating, many people saw him and Xiao Mian talking together. The female artists who were extremely dissatisfied with Xiao Mian were almost furious when they saw this scene. Do Tuyuli and Xiao Mian know each other? Why are they staying with her? I just saw Tuyuli taking the water and handing it to Xiao Mian, and also handed her a small fan. That small fan was probably used by Tuyuli himself. Oh my god, could Tuyuli also see it? Are you having with her? What? Bai Yusheng and Tuyuli are my two male idols. She seduced one of my male idols this morning, and now she seduces my other male idol? She is so shameless. Is she an outstanding man in the crew? I have to hook up all over the place. No, can Tuyuli like her? She's not even a first-tier girl. Even if Tuyuli wants to find a girlfriend from the same circle, he'll have to find a second-tier girl at worst. Tuyuli's own career is already good enough, so maybe he doesn't have such high demands on his partner? To be honest, Xiao Mian's face is indeed quite beautiful. Don't you think her looks are very popular among men? She looks delicate. Being delicate is the easiest way to inspire a man's desire for protection. Mr. Mo arrived at the scene in 3 seconds. Coming out tomorrow. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 676. Chapter 676 Mr. Mo. What's going on? Wow, Director Bai is here and seems to have seen them. I have a hunch that something good will happen later. Director Bai is here. The people who were talking turned around and saw Bai Yusheng walking towards this direction. As he walked, he raised his head and looked towards Xiao Mian. Then, the steps stopped. When the people around him saw this scene, they all had the mentality of watching a good show, waiting excitedly and expectantly to see what Bai Yusheng would do next. Would you go over to have a quarrel when jealousy breaks out? Or, just replace the male protagonist? Not far away. Bai Yusheng stared at the handsome couple under the big tree for a while with half-squinted eyes. A malicious smile flashed in his eyes. He took out his phone, clicked on WeChat, and replied to the WeChat message Mo Yesi had just sent him. Just now, Mo Yesi asked him what Xiao Mian was doing, but he didn't reply. Now, he feels he can go back. Bai Yusheng, Mr. Mo, I saw your little baby. Are you sure you want to know what she's doing? A few seconds later, Mo Yesi replied, what do you mean? Bai Yusheng raised her lips, it's nothing, I just think your little baby is quite popular. Mo Yesi, if you have anything to say, just say it, what is she doing? Bai Yusheng raised his eyes and glanced under the big tree again, and the malice in his eyes became more intense. How about I take a photo for you? This time, without waiting for Mo Yesi to reply to him, he took a secret photo from the right angle and sent it directly to Mo Yesi. Then he also sent a message, how about the male lead in our crew? Isn't he handsome? He has already won the Best Actor award at a young age. He is a very hard-working and very capable young actor. Among his peers, he can be said to be very outstanding. He is about the same age as your little one, and there will probably be a lot of topics between young people. Asterisk. Mo's building. In the president's office. Mo Yesi received the photo sent to him by Bai Yisheng. He clicked it and looked at it. His originally expressionless face was instantly covered with a layer of gloom. His dark and deep eyes stared at the man standing next to Chiao Mian for a full minute, and his face became increasingly gloomy and ugly. At this time, Wei Zhen knocked on the office door and walked in. "Mr. Mo, everything is ready. The meeting will officially start in 10 minutes." Wei Zhen had just sorted out the documents needed for the meeting and came over from the conference room. As soon as I walked into the office, I felt that something was not right about the atmosphere. Looking up, he was startled by Mo Yesi's gloomy expression. "Mr. Mo. What's going on? Weren't you fine just now? Why does your face suddenly look so ugly? Who is this to make you angry?" Wei Zhen. Mo Yesi squeezed the phone tightly, looked down at the photo that made him furious, resisted the urge to throw the phone away, and raised his eyes to look at Wei Zhen. "Check the latest flight to F City." F City. Wei Zhen didn't react for a while, so he was stunned and said, "Mr. Mo, there are no flights to F City in the recent period." As soon as he finished speaking, Mo Yesi got a cold look. "You can't go if you don't have an itinerary." Ah! Wei Zheng suddenly remembered that the young lady was filming in F City. Look at his pig head. Even forgotten. He said, "Okay, why does Mr. Mo suddenly want to go to F City? The young lady just left yesterday. It's only been a day, but the young master can't bear the longing and wants to chase after her." End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 677. Chapter 677. Come with me to City F. In a relationship, most of the time it is the woman who clings to the man. When Mr. Mo arrived, he was clinging to the young lady. I never thought that a man as cold as Mr. Mo would be like this when it comes to love. Wei Zheng quickly turned on his mobile phone to check. 2 minutes later, he looked up and said, "Mr. Mo, the nearest flight is at 1:30 in the afternoon, which is an hour later. There are also flights after 4 o'clock and one after 8 p.m. of." As he spoke, he pulled out the bus after 8 o'clock in the evening and prepared to make a reservation. Just when he clicked on it with his finger, he heard Mo Yesi say, "Order for 1.5. Ah! Wei Zheng was stunned for a moment, then raised his head in surprise. "Mr. Mo, have you made an appointment at 1:30? But there will be a very important meeting later. You have to make an appointment in the afternoon." Before he finished speaking, Mo Yesi closed the laptop on his desk, picked up a stack of documents and put them on the computer. He stood up and said to him, "Book the flight immediately, put the computer and documents, come with me to F City. Notify the vice president again and leave all subsequent matters to him." After Mo Yesi finished speaking, he turned around and walked out of the office. He was not prepared to go to F City so soon. He was thinking of going there on the weekend. But that photo. Thinking of that photo, his face darkened again. It was only the second day since I went to the set. There was actually a man around her who had ill intentions towards her. I really can't let her go outside alone. It was too much for him to worry about. He knew that his baby would be liked by many men. She was so good that she fascinated him, let alone other men. Once she is allowed to go out and let more people see her goodness, more and more people will like her. As soon as this idea came up, Mo Yesi immediately felt a deep sense of crisis. He wanted to hide Chiao Mian in a place where only he could see her. Don't let anyone find her again. In this way, there won't be so many people coveting her. He doesn't have to worry as much as he does now. Asterisk. After Bai Yusheng sent the message, he didn't wait for Mo Yesi's reply. He didn't send any more messages. Based on his understanding of someone, he is afraid that someone will definitely be unable to bear it. As expected, he will definitely be able to see Mo Yesi today. At that time, you can take the opportunity to talk to him about the investment issues in the next play. Asterisk. Chiao Mianmian's play is almost at night. The afternoon was filled with scenes starring Tu Yulai and Huang Yilin. Chiao Mianmian watched the two perform while reading the script. After watching it for 2 hours, she had to admit that, not to mention Huang Yilin's character, she really had no choice in terms of acting skills. Absolutely powerful. Among all the little flowers, Huang Yilin's acting skills are the best. Belongs to female artists who have both beauty and strength. No wonder she is so popular. As soon as she got into acting mode, Huang Yilin became very professional, and many scenes were done in one go. Even Bai Yusheng praised her and said she was in good condition. Although Tu Yulai is defined as a fresh-faced actor, he is by no means a vase who only relies on his appearance. After all, he is a person who has won the Best Actor award, and his acting skills are naturally good. He and Huang Yilin acted opposite each other, which was a duel between masters. Because both of them performed very well, the filming progressed much faster than expected. Chiao Mianmian's play was originally scheduled to be in the evening. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 678. Chapter 678, Will you help Chiao Mianmian out of this problem? As it turned out, it was several hours early and it was her turn in the afternoon. She only has one scene today. Is a scene opposite her and Huang Yilin. There aren't many scenes, just one scene. She and the heroine played by Huang Yilin will have a quarrel due to a misunderstanding. This quarrel only has 3 lines each and can be played out in a few minutes. How are you ready? The first day went so well. Bai Yusheng was in a good mood today. When it was Chiao Mianmian's turn to come on, he walked up to her, ignoring the looks from the people around him, and smiled. Ask Chiao Mianmian. Chiao Mianmian stood up and nodded, yes, I'm ready. Come on, Bai Yusheng encouraged her, I can get through it in one go. Thank you, Director Bai, I will try my best. Chiao Mianmian took a deep breath, clenched her fists, and silently encouraged herself in her heart. After seeing the acting skills of Huang Yilin and Tu Yulai, she still felt stressed. She just hopes that she will not hold back the crew. Even if you can't pass it once, don't NG too many times. Now, everyone knows that she was the third female lead chosen by Bai Yusheng himself at the audition. If she performs too poorly, she will not only lose face, but also Bai Yusheng's face. I believe you, after all, my vision is not wrong. Bai Yusheng looked at the time, turned around and said, get ready, the shooting will officially start in 5 minutes. Asterisk. The scene that was supposed to be shot in a few minutes took more than 10 minutes to shoot, but it still didn't pass smoothly. After another NG, Bai Yusheng said with a serious face behind the camera, Yilin, what's wrong with you? Didn't I tell you that you pushed her accidentally, not on purpose? Why do you always act like you did it on purpose? Sorry, Director Bai. Huang Yilin hurriedly turned around, her face full of apologies, looking very embarrassed, and apologized with a great attitude, I don't know what happened just now, I don't seem to be in good condition. I will definitely pay attention next time. Bai Yusheng squinted his eyes, a hint of dark color flashed under his eyes. He said nothing more, but turned his head to look at Chiao Mianmian, who was slowly getting up from the beach. In this scene, because of the quarrel between the two, the heroine played by Huang Yilin accidentally pushed Chiao Mianmian to the ground. Then, turn around and run away. Such a play is not difficult at all for Huang Yilin. There is no problem with Jiao Mianmian's performance. Logically speaking, this should be a one-time pass. But because Huang Yilin kept making mistakes in the last shot, it has been NG 3 times in a row. The scene when she pushed Jiao Mianmian at the end should be that she accidentally pushed him down. But she acted very deliberately every time, so she had to reshoot it again. If it were a newcomer acting like this, it would be normal. After all, I have no acting experience. But for a capable actor, this kind of performance is too unsatisfactory. It doesn't look like normal play at all. Many people at the scene could see that Huang Yilin did this on purpose. How could she, a person who has won Best Actress awards, not be able to perform such a simple performance well? If they can all see it, the director must also be able to see it. For a time, everyone looked at Bai Yusheng and Jiao Mianmian with the mentality of watching a good show. Everyone is speculating whether Bai Yusheng will help Jiao Mianmian in this matter. You can also test whether he is interested in this newbie through this incident. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 679. Chapter 679 didn't give her any face. Bai Yusheng watched Jiao Mianmian stand up and slowly stood up. Mianmian, are you okay? He took out a cigarette from his bag, lit it and took a puff, asking in a calm voice. The beach is very soft. The few times Jiao Mianmian fell down should not be a big problem. However, her hair and body were all covered with sand. Looking very embarrassed. Bai Yusheng certainly knew that Huang Yilin did it on purpose. He knew it on the first take. The reason why he didn't stop Huang Yilin when she repeated her tricks for the second and third time was because he wanted to use this incident to see how Jiao Mianmian would react. He said that she could come to him if she needed anything. If she really spoke, he would definitely help her say it. She is Mo Yesi's woman. He will give this face no matter what. But if Jiao Mianmian really came to him about this matter, he would probably think that this woman was nothing more than that. Can't bear any hardship. These things are completely normal for a new person. If there is not a strong enough backend from the beginning, who can go through it smoothly? Who wouldn't suffer a little bit? He always appreciates artists who can endure hardships. Although Jiao Mianmian already has a strong enough backing, she can get what she wants without any hardship. But Bai Yusheng doesn't want her to be like those female artists who have embraced the golden thigh. Just because she has embraced the golden thigh, she no longer wants to work hard and treats her career with a casual attitude. He didn't want to make a mistake. I'm fine, Director Bai. As long as Senior Huang is ready, I can start over at any time. Jiao Mianmian reached out and patted the sand off her body, turned her head and smiled at Bai Yusheng, without any anger at all. Signs. The whole person seemed very peaceful. After Bai Yusheng looked at her for a few seconds, he smiled and nodded, okay, then get ready and we will shoot again. There is no doubt that Jiao Mianmian's performance made Bai Yusheng very satisfied. He was satisfied and volunteered to help her. Turning back to the camera, Bai Yusheng curled her lips and said to Huang Yilin with a faint smile, Yilin, you are a senior. Don't act like a junior. This will make me doubt whether the heroine I am looking for is unqualified. For such a simple shot, if you need to go NG 5 or 6 times in a row, you have to reflect on whether your acting skills have deteriorated. As soon as these two fluttering words were spoken, Huang Yilin's expression suddenly changed. Bai Yusheng didn't give her any face at all. She said in public that her acting skills had deteriorated. Especially the sentence "the heroine is unqualified" scared her heart to a halt. Although she is a little flower, she has enough popularity. But it took a lot of effort to get this female lead. There is no shortage of good-looking and capable actresses in the entertainment industry. She's not the only one. At the beginning, there were other A-list talents vying for this role. Although she has signed a contract with the crew, she will be able to get a lot of liquidated damages if the crew breaks the contract. But who doesn't know that Bai Yusheng is rich in money? I don't care about the liquidated damages at all. If he thinks there is something wrong with the heroine and wants to change her, then he will definitely change her. Although Bai Yusheng didn't explicitly help Xiao Mian, everyone could tell that the two sentences he just said meant to help Xiao Mian. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 680. Chapter 680. They can't offend her anymore. Criticize Huang Yilin directly in public. This waste can support. Tisk, it seems that Bai Yusheng is really interested in this newbie. For the sake of this young newcomer, I didn't give Huang Yilin any face. Looks like they have to learn a lesson. They cannot offend Bai Yusheng before she loses interest in this newbie. Huang Yilin, a popular little girl who had won the Best Actress award, was publicly criticized by Bai Yusheng for her acting skills. For a moment, she felt completely humiliated, and her face turned blue and white, making her look quite ugly. Bai Yusheng criticized her, but she didn't dare to say anything and could only accept it. Yes, Director Bai. I will definitely get back to my best this time, perform well, and try to get over it once and for all. She knew that Bai Yusheng was venting his anger on Xiao Mian, and she was furious in her heart, but she still had to be respectful on her face. No matter how popular she is, she still has to be polite and respectful in front of a director of Bai Yusheng's level. Bai Yusheng trained her, and she had to accept criticism modestly. It's not about trying to pass, it's about having to pass. Bai Yusheng returned to sit down in front of the camera, his tone still light. If you can't pass anymore, I will give you a holiday. You can go back and take a long vacation, and slowly adjust your state. There was a sound of gasping all around. Huang Yilin's face stiffened and turned blue all of a sudden. Bai Yusheng, do you mean to replace her? Just because she had made Xiao Mian ng several times just now, he actually said such words. He actually supported Xiao Mian in such a high-profile manner. Could it be that he really fell in love with Xiao Mian? Asterisk. By the fourth shooting, it went very smoothly. Passed in one try. Huang Yilin's condition returned immediately, and her performance was much better than ever before. No matter what kind of feelings Bai Yusheng had for Xiao Mian, Huang Yilin did not dare to risk her own future. Because she knew Bai Yusheng's character very well. Have money and willfully. There is nothing he dares not to offend artists that other directors dare not offend. No matter how big a person is when he comes in front of him, it is nothing. He has a Bai family behind him as a backup. He can be as arrogant and domineering as he wants, and he can act as wantonly as he pleases. Even if he fails in filming, it will have no impact on him. The big deal is, go home and inherit Bai's business. Hence, no one can afford to offend such a top-notch rich second-generation director. If it were any other director, he would never dare to replace Huang Yilin because of her identity and the sky-high liquidated damages. But Bai Yusheng dared. So during the fourth filming, Huang Yilin did not dare to use small tricks anymore. After the shooting was completed successfully, Xiao Mian returned to the rest area. Nana immediately walked to her side and helped her pat the sand off her body. Then he handed her a bottle of water. Sister Mian, drink some water. Xiao Mian took it and took a few sips, then reached out to touch the sweat on her forehead, then took a small electric fan and blew it on her face. The scene just now was filmed while standing under the sun. She was so tan that a layer of oil appeared all over her body. She now wants to dive into the sea. Miss Xiao, Miss Nana, this is the mung bean soup that brother two invited the crew to eat. You can also drink some too. Yuli's assistant brought a bag and took out 2 bowls of well-sealed mung bean soup and handed it to them. Nana glanced at it, her eyes suddenly lit up, and she immediately reached out to take it. Suji's mung bean soup, I was craving for it just now, but brother too actually asked someone to buy it back. Thank him. End of this chapter.